Today we're going to learn how to divide fractions. Jennifer Lopez, aka J-Lo, heard about Mr. Joe and Tyra's relationship. She was jealous. She bought 9 half packages of stink bombs from Amazon. Every day she mailed out 1/4 package of stink bombs to Mr. Joe. How many times did she terrorize Mr. Joe and Tyra? Señor Joe es muy guapo. Ella es muy celosa. So, what is this asking is, she has 9 half packages. How many groups of 1/4 go into 9 halves? Did you know 9 half, it really means 4.5 packages? So with every day she mails 1/4 of a package to Mr. Joe. Another 1/4, another 1/4, another 1/4. So this is the picture modeling for those who prefer picture modeling. How many times did she terrorize me? If every day she mails 1/4 of a package out of 4.5 packages. That's one way you can do it, or you can just do it procedurally and get the answer. So in dividing fraction, this is how I do it. So dividing fraction, I give it a try. I flip the second fraction and multiply. So for this, dividing fraction, give it a try. Flip the second fraction, which is called reciprocal. So I need to find a reciprocal of this, 1. And I multiply. So I get 36 over 2. Isn't that the same? How many 2's go in 36? Isn't that the same thing as 18? And so if you look at your picture model, she terrorized me for 18 full days. Or 18 days at least. You might say to yourself, why is he turning? So what I did is I turned this division expression into a multiplication expression. That's what we like doing for this one. So it makes it easier because division is just an inverse of multiplication. So we have 9 halves divided by 1/4. If you want to rewrite this as a multiplication expression, what you do is you find a reciprocal in the second fraction, which is 4/1, and you multiply. 9 half divided by 1/4 is the exact same thing as 9 half times 4/1. This is just a multiplicative expression of this division one. So the answer is 18. So before we continue, we got to know what reciprocal. Reciprocal is the flipping of the fraction or interchanging the numerator with the denominator. So we're just reversing it. So for example, if you have 3/4 and 3/8, if you interchange it, it will be 4/3. If you interchange that one, it will be 8/3. What if you have 9/7 and 12/5? If I ask you to find the reciprocal of it, it will be 7/9, and this one will be 5/12. Let's take it a step further. What if you have the number 9 and 3? Can you find the reciprocal of this 9 and 3? You can. Turn it to a fraction, 9/1, 3/1. Interchange it to be 1/9, and this one will be 1/3. So 3 divided by 1/2 is equal to 6. It gives you the same result as 3 times 2 is 6. All we did is we do the reciprocal or interchange or flipping the numerator with the denominator from 1/2 into 2, and we changed the division sign to a multiplication because 3 divided by 1/2 equals 6 is the exact same thing as 3 times 2 equals 6. I prefer changing the division into a multiplication. Guess why? How many halves go into 3? If you have 3 bars, 1, 2, 3. How many halves, groups of halves, go in here? 6 of them. Isn't it faster just to do 3 times 2 to get the answer? Alright, so let's practice with finding reciprocal. So we have 1/2. What is the reciprocal of 1/2? 2/1 or 2. Let's see. Dang! Beginner's luck, if I do say so myself. I have 4/3. What is the reciprocal of 4/3? I think it's 3/4. 4/9. The reciprocal of 4/9 is 9/4. No. Reciprocal of 3/4 is 4/3. I cannot. I thought I did this one. This one? Ugh. With the reciprocal of 8 is 8/1 would be 1/8. You know what? I think I'm gonna give up. 9/4 is 4/9. Oh God, I cannot remember where it. Ugh. There it is. You know I'm gonna give up right now. You can play this at home. So, when I divide fraction, you can do, this is how I memorize it. So dividing fraction, you give it a try. You flip the second fraction and multiply. So again, you're dividing fraction, this is division bar. Dividing fraction, you give it a try. You flip the second fraction and multiply. In other words, you're finding the reciprocal and you multiply. Reciprocal of the second fraction. So, let's go to this screen. Skip. All right, here's a perfect one. You have 1/2. This is 1/2. This is 1/2. This is modeling, by the way. How many groups of 1/4, and this is 1/4, go into a half? How many groups of 1/4? You have one group of 1/4. You have two groups of 1/4. So I believe two groups of 1/4 go into a half. That's what it's asking. What if you do not like using these modeling? You just want to solve it. So again, flip this. So dividing fraction, give it a try. Flip the second fraction and multiply. Dividing fraction, give it a try. Flip the second fraction and multiply. You multiply, you get 4/2. Isn't 4/2 the same thing as 2 whole? So how many 1/4 groups of 1/4 can go into 1/2? Two groups, that is. How many groups of 1/12 go into 1/3? Let's do the modeling. So we have 1/3, and here's 1/12. So how many groups of 1/12 go into it? One group, two groups, three groups, four groups. Four groups of 1/12 go into 1/3. Again, you might sit there and say, I don't want to use these fraction towers. I'd rather just solve it procedurally. So, dividing fraction, give it a try. Flip the second fraction and multiply. Dividing fraction, give it a try. Flip the second fraction, or find a reciprocal of it. Multiply, you get 12/3. Oh, that's 4. 4 groups. So, and let's just do one more modeling, and the rest I'm going to start doing procedural. How many, you have, no, let's skip to this one. Prefer this one, it's a little more tougher. We have 8/10. 8/10. How many groups of 2/5, not 1/5, 2/5 go into 8/10? So, this is a 2/5, because 1/5 plus 1/5 is 2/5. That's 2/5. Here's another 2/5. How many groups of 2/5 go into 8/10? Two groups of it. How can I get it if I do not prefer the fraction tower? So dividing fraction, give it a try. Flip the second fraction and multiply. So I flip the second fraction, which is 5/2. I multiply, I get 40/20. How many 20s go into 40? Two. Two groups. Two groups of 2/5 go into 8/10. All right, so let's try it. If you would like to, you can keep using the fraction tower, but you know what? I'm going to try to do it without it now. So let's do the first one. Dividing fraction, give it a try. Flip the second fraction and multiply. That'd be 12/3. I believe the answer is going to be 4. Voila. Dividing fraction, give it a try. Flip the second fraction and multiply. That's 40/10. And how many 10s go in 4? I believe the answer is 4 again. Voila. So again, what we're doing is we're turning this division expression into a multiplication expression by using the reciprocal, by multiplying by the reciprocal. So let's do one last one. Dividing fraction, give it a try. Flip the second fraction and multiply. That's 24/12. How many 12s go in 24? Two groups. So two groups of 3/8 go into 3/4. All right. So let's try solving these now. Let's go to this one. How many halves go into 3/4? Here is 3/4. How many groups of halves go into here? So this model represents 3/4. Ooh, what did I just do? So in this one, it's one group of 1/2 and a half. I believe the answer is going to be 1 and 1/2 from this picture model. But let's do it the procedural way for those who prefer procedural. Dividing fraction, give it a try, flip the second fraction, and multiply, you get 6/4, which really simplifies to 3/2. That's a good answer. 3/2 is a good answer. Is there another way I could turn it into a mixed number? How many 2's go into 3? One time. What do you have left? 1 and 1/2 is equivalent to 3/2. And let's look at my solution. Ta-da! So, as you can tell from this is 3/4 divided by 1/2 is equivalent to 3/4 times 2, 1. What they did is they found the reciprocal of the second fraction and multiply, and then the answer is 1 and 1/2. Let's try another one. Dividing fraction, give it a try, flip the second fraction and multiply. 24, I think we already did this one already through the modeling, and it is 2. So again, 3/4 divided by 3/8 is just doing 3/4 times 8/3. So let's make it a little harder. So we have 3/4 divided by 3. So dividing fraction, give it a try. So we need to flip the second fraction and multiply. Ooh, this is not a fraction. Oh, now it's a fraction. All right, now we can get started. Dividing fraction, give it a try. Flip the second fraction, 1/3, and multiply. You get 3/12, which simplifies, divide by 3, is 1/4. Would that be the answer? Let's look at our thing. It is. 3/4 divided by 3 is just the exact same thing as doing 3/4 times 1/3. 3/12 or 1/4. Let's practice. Let's do this last one. So again, in this last one, just write it as a fraction because we are dividing fraction. We're not dividing fraction whole number, we're dividing fractions. So now, dividing fraction, give it a try. Flip the second fraction and multiply. You get 2/12 or 1/6. And let's look at a solution, and we do. Because 2/3 divided by 4 is equivalent to 2/3 times 1/4. All right, let's skip. So many examples. All right, I like this one. Can you match the division expression with the multiplication expression? So we have 1/4 divided by 3/8. Is there another way to write this as a multiplication expression? Well, I know we divide fraction, give it a try. You flip the second fraction, so it could be 8/3 somewhere. It's this one. So 1/4 times 8/3. I'll put it right there. Let's do this one. Turn that into a multiplication expression. So dividing fraction, give it a try. Flip the second fraction. So I know it's not going to be 8/3. So I have to flip it to 3/8. 1/4 times 3/8. I believe it goes here. 2/3 divided by 3/8. Flip the second fraction. So that's 8/3. I believe it's this one. And flip the second fraction. 3/8 would be this one. Let's check our work. Did we match the division expression with its counterpart, the multiplication expression? 4 checks. So what we learned here in dividing fraction is you need to rewrite it as a multiplication expression. So what you do is you flip the second fraction and you multiply. And that's the lesson of our dividing fraction.